name is Fedesi, and I'm here to teach you how the forehand and backhand is learned. This is for all ages and all levels, no exceptions. It starts here at the net. The volley is actually the first thing that you're going to learn, or one of the first movements you're going to learn. And the reason is this. You're going to start with what's known as a continental grip. I want to stop right here because I want to add something that I left out. And I just want to say that you don't, at this stage, you do not need a continental grip. You can use any grip. If you're going to start with the volley, really it begins with just blocking the ball out of the air close to the net any way that you want. Could changing positions with the racket, the ball's coming at you on the right, coming right at you, over your head, to the left, down low, etc. And then you can progress to the continental grip later on, or even at the next stage there at short tennis, and then come back to the volley later on, or the hammer grip. And as you can see, the backswing, there's almost no turn on the backhand or the forehand, almost no backswing, and you're just blocking or catching the ball out of the air. Now if I back up and we make a line here, what is known as short tennis, I keep the same continental grip or something close to it. We're going to have a short turn, very short turn. At this stage, there's not much else you can do, and that's how you learn. That's how you go from almost no turn to a short turn. Notice the backswing. The backswing will be relatively short. Something to notice as well from this distance is that the forward swing is relatively short as well. Starting with the volley, there's almost no forward swing or forward movement, at least from that distance. And same thing with the short tennis. Then we move back to mini tennis. We're somewhere near the service line. And from here, the turn is a little bit bigger. It can be a little bit bigger, a little larger. The forward swing can be larger. And before we move back, you can also learn to make a bigger backswing. You can learn to turn more, much easier in the back of the court. And then from there we have mid-court, what we would call mid-court tennis, or 60-foot court. You can draw a line right here between the service line and the baseline. And the backswing is permitted to get a little bit bigger. The rotation can get bigger. It's easier for the player to control these things from here. And in that way, all of this can be learned in a rally. There's absolutely no need for a feed if tennis is learned this way. Then we move back to the baseline, and everything gets a little larger. Rotation will naturally get larger. The backswing can get larger. And of course, as well, you can learn how to volley from the mini tennis stage, the mid-court stage, and the back of the court. And in that way, you'll learn to also use bigger swings with the volley. And if you get to this point, there's actually one more stage, which we could say playing tennis far behind the baseline. And in that way, you learn a larger forward swing and a maximum backswing. However, that's often not necessary for many players. For many players, it's good enough to play just behind the baseline. Now, as I said, this is for all levels, no exception. And the way we do that is with the alternating of the stages. So you'll find a base level to where you're at. Let's say you're at the 60-foot level and you're playing orange ball. So we have the stages of the courts, and we also have the stages of the balls. The red ball, generally speaking, the red ball, the orange ball, the green ball, and the yellow ball. So let's say your orange ball 60 feet. That's where you are in the court, and you would have already gotten to a sufficient level inside the court before moving back to the 60-foot line. But that doesn't mean that you're only going to play from the 60-foot court line. You're going to bait from your, generally speaking, you'll play most of your tennis from here until you're ready to move up, and you'll alternate between playing back farther, and you're still going to play your short court, your mini tennis, your volleys. And same thing with the ball. You might transitioning to the green ball and the yellow ball, you'll play most of your tennis orange ball until you're ready to transition to the green ball and then to the yellow ball. But that doesn't mean that you play only orange ball. Most of your tennis will be 60-foot orange ball, and then again you'll alternate with the different balls and alternate with the different size courts. However, most of your tennis will remain in the 60-foot orange ball stage. How long does this last? Generally speaking, we could say these stages last between 6 months and a year. And some people will choose to remain at that stage for the bulk of their tennis because they get the most out of it. They get the most enjoyment out of it. They're able to play certain skills in certain ways and execute certain skills that they wouldn't be able to if they moved up to a higher level. And that goes for playing certain players, different level players as well. Now, how does the modern forehand come into play here? Well, this is how you develop the modern forehand and get to a point where at the end you're able to play with a larger backswing and you're able to learn this motion. Now, I have other videos on that motion. You can check that out. I'll add it in the description. This is how it's learned, and these balls and these stages, they allow you to stay loose through this whole process. And then when you're able to move back, it becomes necessary to hit like this in order to begin accelerating the balls, accelerating the rallies, and hitting faster. This way also allows you to play the whole game. And when you're ready, when you get to a point where you're moving back here and you're hitting loose forehands, loose backhands, you're able to play all areas of the court and you're able to do it in a rally. Where if you try to skip these steps and learn in a different way, there's going to be many balls that you're going to make errors on that you're not used to, that aren't really adapted to what you're trying to do. So to sum this up, you find the stage that you're at. That's your base level of tennis. Let's say I'm a mini tennis player. That's where I'm at. I'm playing mini tennis. Kind of like pickleball. You could say a pickleball player is a mini tennis player, and that's the stage that they're at. And then from there, I want to progress forwards, which in this case will move me back to a larger court, and I want to progress backwards, which in this case is forward, into the mini tennis court. That's not going to end. It's going to be you're going to have your base level, and then you're going to be doing inside inside the court and you're going to do outside the court as well. And then that is your formula for your practice moving forward.